these people have a responsibility. That they're very proud to walk out in front of their teams at Wembley and at Old Trafford and whatever. The reason you're at the front of that queue is because you represent your club. And Eamon McManus has not represented his club and not done them any credit.
Whereas for 10 years before now, Eamon McManus has done a fantastic job at St Helens. On and off the pitch with the side, obviously he's not a big part of the on the pitch stuff, but he helped bring the team together, put the infrastructures in place for all the brilliant young talent they've got coming through as well, empower Mike Rush to make a fantastic coaching appointment 2 years ago. Done a great job, got this stadium which I think is the best stadium in Super League, but you just can't.
That doesn't mean you can come out and say what the heck you want.
This, he's, everyone can be criticised from all different angles, and Sky got criticism, didn't they, after Brian Carney said what he said, which I completely appreciate and agree with. Sky were criticised for the fact that they actually do a lot to add pressure and add criticism onto the referees with the way they cover the game, and I would not disagree with that at all. But what I would say is Brian Carney is not the producer, he is not the director, he is also not Stuart Cummins. So and he doesn't even get involved. He doesn't speak to Stuart Cummins. He's not a part of that part of the broadcast. So I'd say that's unfair on Brian Carney. I think what he said was completely fair and justified. Eamon McManus is making referees' jobs more difficult, and he's making a situation where basically his fans have free rein to criticise not to criticise the referees, because that's fine. Everyone should have free rein to criticise the referees. Everyone should have free rein to not be happy with refereeing decisions. That's all right as the paying public, as the people who pay for this game, who support this game. But it's when it crosses that line into insults, abuse, and questioning their integrity. And he's given them all legit, like Saints fans. Not all Saints fans, but some Saints fans are saying basically, is just saying the truth. Well, he's not just saying the truth. He's saying his opinion of the truth. He's
insinuating
it's not
things.
The truth. It's not the facts, because we don't know the facts. We don't know why Robert Hicks made that decision not to send it up to the video referee, other than Robert Hicks didn't think it was a try, because hey, the ball bounced and flew away. Live, it didn't look like a try to me either.
No, it didn't.
It should have gone up. But that's the game. Move on with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah. When was that grand final? Where was it? Bradford who had that try that was off a forward pass in the grand final, or a knock on, and they got given it in ridiculousness, and that was against St Helens.
Did we
have this sort of stuff then?
Well, we've had
or do we used to just get on with decisions moments like they do in cricket and move on with our lives?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. At no point, we've had our beefs with referees been based on individual decisions and that kind of stuff. At no point, because in our judgment they've made a mistake. But at the end of the day, I don't recall at any point any of us calling their integrity into question. Ultimately, we might think they're shit, but at no point have we said, you're biased. Your ability to make decisions has been impeded by your mental state, which is actually what the tone of what McManus is saying.
There was one year where I did question just the fact that Phil Bentham had refereed every Wigan loss that season, but I wasn't saying it in that Phil Bentham was biased. I was saying it that Wigan didn't understand how to play Phil Bentham's style of refereeing.
Yeah.
And get away with whatever he was.
Correlation and not causation again.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah.
I'll let you have the final word on the McManus ref.
Okay.
Stuff, and then
the final word. Let's make an assumption that Saints actually managed to win another semi-final and make it to Old Trafford. What do you think the chances are of Hicks getting that game now?
Well, a lot of people say he's our best referee. I think he's a strong-willed referee. I don't necessarily think he's our best referee because I find him too inconsistent, personally.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion on his refereeing. I do think he's a strong character, which is good for big games. And I do think he referees big games well, because he just gives nothing in a way. But can do that whilst demanding the respect of the players, sort of thing, where some of the other refs can't get away with it because the players don't respect them. I think they do respect Robert Hicks, so that's why he's good at big games. But I think Chris Kendall's our best referee at the moment. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, for me, I think Kendall should get the Old Trafford. But the point is that McManus is influencing that decision-making process by what he's saying, and that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So, fuck off, Eamon.
But credit to St Helens' defence. I mean, defences win championships, and I think defence and fitness is the things that St Helens have got that they didn't necessarily have as much last year of. So congratulations to them on the win and their fantastic defence, and it's probably going to take them to Old Trafford, where Robert Hicks probably won't be refereeing the game. Okay, Saturday's game. If you didn't want to talk about the action on the field on Friday night's TV game, Saturday night's TV game, bloody hell, that was a tough watch. Catalan home games have become tougher and tougher. You know, the end of the Fraser New era where they kind of just didn't have any spark, into the McNamara era where there was something, but it's not Catalans.
Sometimes.
It's not Catalans, what we've known and grown to love over the years, and watching their home games used to be quite an enjoyable experience when they first started showing them every week on Sky. It's been a slog in the last 18 to 24 months, and this was the slog of all slogs, I think. But it was Catalan 6, Hull KR 24. It was 16-6 to Hull KR at half-time, so all they did really was extend and see out their win in front of 8,315. Ben Thaler was the referee, who I'll probably touch on in my highlight moment actually on this game, but in terms of the stats, this was a game where both teams hit the double of under 1,000 metres and below 90% team tackle success rate. So basically, both teams played good enough to lose this game. But add to that, both made double figures in errors and gave away double figures in penalties. It was 6 breaks apiece, so it was the slightly lower error count and slightly lower penalty count that helped see Hull KR through this absolute... Like, if we're talking about dismal, I found the Saints game far more enjoyable to watch than this one, I've got to say. In terms of stats, Danny Maguire had a try 6 tackle bust on 114 metres for Hull KR, and Arthur Romano had 106 metres for Catalans. And do you know what? I'm glad that Arthur Romano was the man in the stats lineup, because I feel like he's not got any of this stink on him that I feel is on that team at the moment, because he's just a young kid trying to make his way and plugging away out there on the wing. But yeah, fan reviews.
Yep, so Malcolm Matios says, one less seat on the plane home, Karma. # campaign to keep stupid Scotch Steve in Hull. Donations welcome.
Alan Walker said, I guess it's only fair we make sure we lose to all the teams at the bottom. No favouritism. This season will end before we come last. That fan review is the best thing about this game.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Keep going. So, yeah, Tom Andrews says, the emotional turmoil of this season continues. I may have been a few hundred miles away, sat in the posh pit of Hull, but I lived that match like I was there. Some outstanding outstanding displays from Mossy, Haraki, Shaw and both halves. Superb noise from the fans that travelled. Really lifted the players in the Scorchio heat, hoping for what we haven't done all season and win back-to-back on Friday now. And then Tom continues, 2 additional quick points. How does Greg Bird continue to expand his already vast arsenal of shithousery? It's baffling. And Ben Crooks is the best player in the air in Super League. Look how many of our tries have come from him catching high balls this year. Yes, even better than the £250,000 man Connor.
I'd have Connor and Makinson and maybe Toby King ahead of Ben Crooks, but Crooks is decent. EFC78JU said, Catalan go different with Sam Tompkins off the field after he threw the punch in the brawl on the field, but now Hull KR can get past the Dragons, and they also got the 2 points for the win to avoid being relegated. Rugby League does not take violence anytime, anywhere.
Well, there was plenty of shithousery on the pitch, I would say today. Final word on this one from Paul O'Brien, 1976, says, a great away win for KR against a faltering Catalan side. KR will hope that after this win they're going to be safe. Catalan need to look ahead to next season and rebuild a team that's looking out of sorts.
That's the thing, like, this team really is out of sorts. they're not playing for the coach, are they? But I'm not sure who's leading that group of not playing for the coach. So it's hard to see if it's the players that are leaving the side, that are the guys who don't want to back the coach, or if it's the players that are still going to be around, and therefore will they drive through the change that they want. It's really hard to understand. It doesn't feel like it's a well-knit group this year, which it did feel like it was at least that when Steve McNamara first came into the club. So I just don't understand where they're at and what they're doing from a Catalan's point of view. From a Hull KR point of view, I've written down on my sheet for star players, no one. But do you know what? I'm going to give a slight nod to their best halfback and ball player in this match, which was Weller Haraki in the first 20 minutes. After that, there was no ball playing from anyone. Highlight moments at a push. Maguire outpacing Tierney to score. I mean, that's because it's a 30 million year old against what's meant to be a winger who, let's talk about this for a second, ended up playing fullback for a bit, then went back to the wing because Steve McNamara hasn't got a clue where he's playing his players at the moment. I don't know if Mead moved out to the wing because of injury or not, but he didn't look injured when he did what would be Catalan's highlight moment of the game, which was the try he scored from a very well executed kick from, I think, Tony Gigo. But they had Lucas Elbert, not sure if he was playing halfback or hooker in the second half, I think halfback. Sammy Soni Lange, I've always said he's a centre, not a standoff. I don't know how many times I've had to say that over the years.
He's not listening to you.
It just baffles me. But Hull KR dug in and battled through, and I think that's the credit and takeaway for them from this game, because I don't think anyone particularly stood out, if I'm honest. They wasted less chances than Catalans did. I mean, I talked about Chase Blair being determined not to score. Lewis Tierney stopped trying to score 3 months ago, I think. But
that's the only explanation.
he's absolutely emphasised it recently. The last 2 games, it has been the ultimate fairness, because he's made sure he didn't do anything that affected the abilities for London or Hull KR to win these games. And Catalan have lost 2 games at home to the bottom 2, and I want to give credit to the bottom 2, but all I'm thinking is, what the fuck are Catalans doing? But the highlight moment of the game was Ben Thaler pulling Greg Bird out and saying, stop flailing around and falling all over the place. I'm giving the penalty against you. That's not how we play rugby league.
It's just about 15 years too late, but yeah, it was good. That was a highlight.
I think we all did, watching on the television. That's one of those times where it's good that we can really hear the referee's mic on Catalan games.
Yeah, I have to say, I have to say, I thought Danny Maguire's try was probably the best bit of interplay. Probably, I'm clutching at straws.
Set him free.
I quite liked the moral vacuum against the Rectum of Wigan. That was quite entertaining for a minute. But yeah, other than that, nothing really to say.
Let's move on then to Sunday's games.
Yeah, let's talk about these. Yep, so on Sunday in the capital, it was London against Leeds, and London couldn't live up to my tip as they went down 36 points to 10. It was 18-0 to Leeds at half-time. 3,051 were in attendance, and Robert Hicks managed to get himself together and referee this one. For the teams, it was comprehensive for the Rhinos on the stats. They won every major category that goes into winning a match. Over 300 more metres, 1.1 metre per carry better average gain, 7 more breaks, a 5% better team tackle success, more busts, more offloads, fewer errors, and fewer penalties conceded. I think that's pretty comprehensive, isn't it?
That was the board.
It does. For Leeds, Jack Walker with 2 tries, 9 tackle busts, 173 metres and 3 offloads. Brett Ferris with a try assist, 41 tackles and 3 offloads, going both ways. I hear he likes that. Luke Briscoe, a try, 10 tackle busts, 145 metres and 2 clean breaks. And Cam Smith with 141 metres. Wasn't all bad for London, just partly bad. Luke Yates with 45 tackles. Kieran Dixon with his